It is Monday night. It's September 11th, 2023, episode 356 of the Tan and J-Man shows on the air on the ISC Sports Network, as well as the ISC Sports Network Twitter page, YouTube channel, and the Tan and J-Man show Facebook page. Thanks for watching wherever you're watching out there. And if you're listening in the future, since this drops the morning of, or will be dropping on the morning of September 12th, thanks for listening. Click subscribe wherever you listen to a podcast. If you haven't already, give us that 5-star rating and review. That helps us a lot. With all that intro spiel, Josh the J-Man is sporting a Miami Dolphins bucket hat.
Yes, sir.
Gotta. I have to assume you're still kind of on cloud nine from yesterday.
Feel pretty good about it. Feel pretty good.
At least that makes one of us about our sports team, our professional football team. But glad to have NFL back. Glad to have.
Yeah.
NFL
Oh
back.
man, am I happy? I realize how much more I like the NFL than I do college football. And don't get me wrong, I like college football, but the NFL, in my view, is king for me. I don't know about you because I know you love college football, but once the NFL hits, it feels different for me.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would think I like NFL a little bit as a whole over college football, but it's really close. It's really close for me. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a proposition for you here with my Birdie Bogey.
Oh,
two
boy.
Questions for you. You can choose to answer both, and if you get both of them right, which my NFL question has 3 possible answers, or three answers to it. And then I have a baseball one that has 4 answers to it. You can choose to do both of them, and if you get it right, you'll get an albatross.
Oh, that would
however,
put me
yeah,
in the lead.
Yeah, you would
2
have to
strokes
get all
down.
7 guys in these 2 questions correctly. You can choose the NFL one or the baseball one and just do a normal. But yeah, that's where I'm at. For a baseball one, if you get 2 right, it's a par, 4 right for a birdie. NFL one, 2 right for a par, 3 right for a birdie.
So what happens if I get 2 pars?
If you get 2 pars, I'll give you a par. If you were to decide to choose to do both of them.
And what would happen if I get a bogey on one and a par on the other, or a bogey on one and a birdie on the other? Do they just cancel out?
If you get a birdie on one and a bogey on the other, I'll give you a par. If you bogey both, obviously, it'll probably be a double bogey.
Which would hurt. It would put me 4 back.
So
but you know what? I want to live dangerously tonight. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Living dangerously. Okay, baseball question first. Ronald Acuna Jr. is the 5th player in MLB history to record multiple seasons of 35 homers and 35 stolen bases. Can you name the other 4 players who have done this? Okay. The NFL one's probably a little easier. Tua Tagovailoa threw for 466 yards yesterday, which is the 4th most ever in an opening game of a season. Who are the other 3 players to have done this? To have thrown for more, I should say. 2 happened in our lifetime, and then 1 did not. So I'll give you a hint on that one. Tua threw for 466 yesterday, which is the 4th most ever in an opening game to start a season. 3 players threw for more. I might even give you like the decade. So 1 was the 90s, 1 was the 2010s, and then 1 was the 60s or something. So yeah. Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Arlington Public House. Arlington Public House is upscale cuisine and cocktails with a casual atmosphere, located 703 Main Street in Rochester, Indiana. It is $2 whole smoked wings and $1 off domestic brewskis. Tonight, over the weekend, they had sweet and sour chicken, crispy tempura chicken thigh tossed in a house-made sweet and sour sauce on a bed of roasted chicken-flavored rice and finished with lightly sauteed peppers and onions. So just a little glimpse at the kind of food they have there in at the Arlington Public House.
And I got to give a shout out Arlington Public House and Dreddy's Place, for those that may not know, are all in one. They're two separate restaurants, but they're all in one. And me and my wife went down to Rochester, Indiana this weekend and participated in the Fulton County United Way Trivia Contest. And our team came up second, 4 points shy of the Dreddy's Place team, who won the competition among 11 teams. And most of those, if not all of those, participants of that team are loyal viewers and listeners to the show. So I promised them I would give their team a shout out. Congratulations again on being the trivia champions on Saturday night.
I'm a big fan of trivia.
I struggled pretty mightily. I didn't help too much. Categories were pretty hard. I helped with the TV dads category, sports category. I kind of took over for my team, but I only got 9 out of 13 right. So a little disappointed with myself. Would you have known this one? How many teams are in the WNBA?
12.
Yeah, good one.
Really?
I guess 20. I guess 20.
I didn't think there was that many. 12.
Missed that one. I missed where the NASCAR race was going to be on Sunday.
Couldn't have told you that.
It was in Kansas, I guess Talladega.
No.
I missed who won the men's what American got knocked out in the semifinals of the men's U.S. tennis tournament, U.S. Open.
This year?
Yep, I had no idea.
And
then I missed what sport Germany knocked the U.S. out of this year.
Was it FIBA?
Yep, I thought it was Women's World Cup. I didn't even know FIBA was going on, and which is stupid because I knew Zach Edey was playing on Team Canada. So, yep. So I got 9 of 13 right. Pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, that's a D, isn't it? 9 divided by 13 is what? 66% maybe?
Yeah. So back to my average test score.
69%. That's
my
a D+.
academic career.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't have got degrees, C's to get degrees, but I guess since I just said C's get degrees, let's talk about a sports team that's name begins with the letter C. That's the Chicago Cubs.
That was a nice little segue there.
A little bit of a reach, but it worked. It worked.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked baseball in about 3 weeks, so this will be an interesting update where the Cubs have played some really good ball. They have only lost 3 series since the All-Star break. Unfortunately, one of them was this past weekend against a team directly behind them, so that was not great in the Arizona Diamondbacks. But they're 10 games over 500. They have a 2.5 game lead for a wild card spot. They're in that second wild card. They are only a game and a half behind the Phillies for the first wild card, I should say. And they are 3 behind the Milwaukee Brewers for the division lead. They're starting to pitch really well. Pitching's kind of been the thing that's kind of helped them get to this point where it was the offense up until about 2 weeks ago. The offense have kind of got quiet a little bit. Mike Tauchman stopped hitting. Dansby was in a really bad stretch. They were kind of carried by Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki. And luckily the pitching stepped up. Justin Steele leading the major leagues in ERA. He is, I don't know if I'd put him the top Cy Young guy, but he's got to be in that top 2. Blake Snell, and Spencer Strider's the guy that I don't understand why he's in there. Sure, he's got the sexy stats like the strikeouts and all of that. But his ERA is in the mid 3s. Usually guys like that don't win it. And of course that doesn't tell the whole story, but Justin Steele's been fantastic. Gotten good starts from Kyle Hendricks, Javier Assad, Jordan Wicks. Jordan Wicks is the first Cub to win his first 3 starts in the big leagues as a Cub since like the 60s. It's pretty embarrassing, really. That it's taken that long, but he's been a godsend. And then you have Jameson Taillon's been pretty bad, but he had a pretty good start here on Friday. Bullpen had been good, but they have some injury issues now. Albert Alzolay, their closer, is just put on the 15-day injured list today, which will put him back second to last series of the year if he's good by that time, and who knows. Julian Merriweather's been good. Mark Leiter's kind of hitting to a wall a little bit. So bullpen is a little concerning right now, but they just got to keep scoring runs, getting good contributions. They called up their top prospects, one of the top 10 prospects in baseball, Pete Crow Armstrong, whose mom played the mom on Little Big League back in the 90s, and she's been on a bunch of shows and stuff. So his mom's a famous actress, and he is one of the top prospects in baseball. Scouts have called him the best defensive center fielder in the world. So hopefully he gets some time. He's not playing tonight, but hopefully, and I'm sure he will get some time here. They play in Colorado and in Arizona, two of the largest outfields in baseball, so he'll be in there to cover a bunch of ground. But yeah, they're in a really good spot. They just got to keep winning baseball games. As I said, they play in Colorado, who's 40 games under 500. I hate when the Cubs
to the sport of baseball. We're so
I hate
bad.
when the Cubs play in Colorado because games can be randomized there with how the conditions play. And Chris Bryant, who hasn't played since July 22nd, of course, he's coming back tonight. So it's a Chris Bryant revenge tour sort of series.
Should have worn my Bryant shirt tonight. Missed opportunity.
You should have. He's been pretty bad, but
what a waste of money,
5 homers
both for the player and my shirt.
And then they travel to Arizona, as I said, and hopefully they can get a little revenge there. But we have one team that's clinched a playoff spot so far, and that's the Atlanta Braves. They're 93-49, 15 games up in the NL East.
Wait, I'm not allowed to do that anymore, am I? I can't do. I'm not supposed to do a chop, right? Wasn't that? Don't
I think they still do it. I know they still do it. The Kansas City Chiefs still do it. Baseball, it seems like they've kind of gone away from it, but I'm sure fans still do it there. But their magic number to win that division is 6, so they will likely clinch this week. If they don't, then they went on they beat the Phillies today, so I think their magic number's down to 4, and if it's a doubleheader, so if they win again, their magic number's down to 2, so they could theoretically clinch by like Wednesday. If they obviously can. Baltimore Orioles have won 90 games already. That's still a tightly contested race in the AL East, 3 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays. Blue Jays are playing good baseball. They're probably out of the division, but they will likely get a wild card spot. New York Yankees are under 500 this late in the year for the first time in a long, long time. They somehow won a game yesterday. Did you see this at all? They won yesterday. They were getting no hit into the 11th inning, but luckily Garrett Cole started for them, and they got to knock off the Milwaukee Brewers, so that helped the Cubs out.
Cole is the first New York Yankee to have 3 200-plus strikeout seasons.
Huh? Interesting. He was a really good pickup. That team's bad.
Correct on both fronts.
Shockingly bad. Twins will probably win the Central. Their magic number is 12. The Astros are now leading the AL West. The Texas Rangers have completely flatlined and have played some bad baseball. And they're still in a good spot as far as playoffs go, but they have not played. They have not played well at all. Actually, I don't think they are in a good spot. They're a half game out of a playoff spot right now. Like I said, after leading the AL West for 4 months. The Mariners are 2.5 behind Houston. They're a half game up on the Rangers. NL West, Dodgers will likely clinch this week. They're 13 games up all of a sudden. It happened quick. Mookie Betts, I think, hit over 400 since like the beginning of June. He and Ronald Acuna Jr., it's a tight race for MVP right now. But other than that, that's my baseball update this week. We got 3 weeks left of the season. We're done. So it always goes quick.
Then the real season begins, right?
The off season, yes. Which hopefully the Reds will hit the off season here much earlier than the Cubs do. They are
Josh, that's not very nice.
And they are. It looks like a game and a half out of a wild card spot. They're tied with the Giants. They're behind the Marlins and Diamondbacks, fighting for that final wild card spot. But all the Cubs have to do is take care of their own business, not worry about anyone else. That's what every team should think of. Just win, and if it shakes out, it shakes out.
One game at a time.
One game, one series at a time. So that's all I got for baseball.
All right. Well, I'd like to get educated, please.
All righty. On this day, I should probably pull up sport. The Battle of Sterling Bridge was on this day in the 1600s. On this day in 1918, the Boston Red Sox beat the Chicago Cubs at Fenway Park in the World Series, and they won that series 4-2. Of course, the Red Sox didn't win again until 2004. On this day in 1928, Ty Cobb had his last ever plate appearance. He popped out against the New York Yankees.
How many years did he play for, roughly?
I do not know. Look it
I'll
up
look it up.
real
I'll look it
quick.
up. I got it. I got it.
The,
So you can keep
oh,
going.
1905 to 1928. I already beat you.
Okay. Yeah.
He was not a very nice man.
No, we've mentioned that a couple times on this pod. Yeah.
On this date in 1956, Reds outfielder Frank Robinson tied the rookie record with 38 homers. I think Pete Alonso has it now. Pete Alonso and Aaron Judge probably. I think they both kind of dueled it out. Maybe Judge. I don't know. One of them has it. On this day in, we got some Olympics. U.S. Open men's tennis. I don't think you'd heard of any of those guys. 1983, Franco Harris of the Pittsburgh Steelers became only the third player in NFL history to rush for 11,000 yards.
It's a pretty good one.
This day in 1991, Braves Kent Merker, Mark Wohlers, and Alejandro Pena pitched the first ever combined no-hitter in the National League. Those have become more common now that people have started to care about pitch count. But I mean, guys would throw forever back in the day. So, like Corbin Burns had a no-hitter, but because it was a tie game and he wasn't going to come back out for the 10th inning anyways, they yanked him in the 8th inning. He threw 8 no-hit innings, and back 30 years ago, they would definitely not have done that. They would have gone until he gave up a hit. On this day in 1994, who won the U.S. Open men's tennis?
Andre Agassi.
You got it.
I was going to guess him or Pete Sampras, so.
Of Germany. On this day in 2005, who won the U.S. Open men's tennis?
How about Andy Roddick?
You are incorrect. Roger Federer.
I knew Roddick, U.S. Open was his only major win, so, and it was sometime in the early 2000s, so, okay. Dang it.
That is going to do it for On This Day.
That is the On This Day segment, which was brought to you by, like it is every week, Mooney Woodcrafts. Mooney Woodcrafts is a veteran-owned and operated woodcraft shop based out of Texas with Indiana grassroots. They provide 100% hand-cut custom designs that fit your needs, and their pieces are a great addition to any home, office, or man cave. You can see some of their recently completed projects by visiting their Instagram or Facebook page at Mooney Woodcrafts. And if you let them know the Tan and J-Man Show sent you, you get 15% off your orders. So I keep harping on it every week, but get your signed order in for yourself if you're a big football fan, for the football fan in your family, a friend that's a football fan. I mean, Thad can make signs, not just sports related, but military related, family related, etc. But he does a really good job at the sports related signs, particularly football signs. So you won't regret it. And like I said, if you tell them the Tan J-Man Show sent you, get 15% off your order. So
that's right.
Take advantage of it.
College football or NFL, your pick?
Let's do NFL so I can do my word association real quick.
Beautiful.
I got to get my phone out for this one. Let me find it here. Well, Tyreek Hill, your boy, the Miami Dolphins, he went nuts yesterday at over 200 yards receiving.
He did.
So here are some other top receiving games in NFL history. And I pulled some of the names from this list. Starting with the guy who has the most receiving yards in a single game, Calvin Johnson, 329.
Megatron. He retired young, but I don't think he regrets it one bit, because he said each Monday it felt like he had gotten a severe car accident. He was so sore.
I'm sure a lot of guys around the league can relate to that.
Yeah.
Julio Jones, 300 yards, 4 different times.
Julio's an interesting Hall of Fame.
Not 4 different times, but he's on the list 4 times. Excuse me, he's on the list 4 times.
Julio's an interesting Hall of Fame case. I don't know if he gets in. He was a Hall of very good. Like, if Torrey Holt struggling to get in or Isaac Bruce struggled to get in, I think Julio struggled for a while.
Yeah. Antonio Brown, 285 yards.
CTE. His brain is fried, unfortunately.
He's still in the news. He was in the news this past week.
Yeah, he can't stay out of it.
Andre Johnson, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, going back to Brown for a second, his fall from grace happened quick.
Yep.
Man, he was the best receiver in the league, and then 30 minutes later, he's not.
And nobody wanted to deal with him.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson, 273 yards.
He's an underrated wide receiver, really good one. He and Cortland Finnegan would go at it. That's kind of what
yeah, they would
remember him for.
Yeah, they would. A good one right now in the league, Jamar Chase, 266 yards.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, you remember those drop issues he had his first preseason, and obviously meant absolutely nothing. One of the best.
Josh Gordon, 261 yards.
Yeah, talk about a guy supremely talented. And if they had the rules they have now back then, I think he might still be in the league.
Probably right. Chad Ochocinco, 260 yards.
And I love Chad Ochocinco. His short time on Hard Knocks with the Dolphins.
I forgot about that.
Loves his McDonald's Coke, no ice.
Loves the McDonald's, period.
Yeah, he does.
Like, it's amazing a guy in that shape eats that much McDonald's.
It really is.
I mean, I eat a lot of McDonald's, but I'm not in that tip-top shape. Far from it. Plaxico Burress, 253 yards.
Shot himself in the leg.
A lot of these names on this list have been in some trouble off the field, it seems like. Alshon Jeffrey, 249 yards.
He did. Plaxico did beat the New England Patriots in 2007.
Yes, he did.
Alshon, man, he maybe because he played for the Bears, he was super hyped, and it seemed like more hyped than substance.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, 238 yards.
D-Hop. He was wasting away in Arizona. Now he's wasting away in Tennessee, unfortunately, because he was the best in the NFL, and it just seems like the last 2 years you never hear about him because he's had injury issues and all that.
Two more on the list, but I made a mistake. Calvin Johnson's not the all-time leader in single game yardage. It's Flipper Anderson with 336, but he's not on my list. I'm just saying that. Oh. Two more here. J-Man, all-time favorite or one of his favorites growing up, Chris Chambers, 238.
Chris Chambers, I remember that game against the Buffalo Bills.
Did they win?
I think they won by one. I think Chambers caught a touchdown with like very little time left. They ended up winning by one. Sage Rosenfels was his quarterback that day.
Oh boy, helicopter spin.
How bad Chambers quarterbacks were. That dude caught everything in his vicinity, though.
And last one, Justin Blackman, 236.
Oh man, he was great at Oklahoma State. I cannot believe he had a game that good though in the NFL. I know. It seems like he was.
Well, he barely played. He couldn't stay out of his own way.
Yeah, third overall pick at a OK State.
Legal actions all over the place, but don't ask the Dolphins' scouting report back then to talk to his mother.
Was that Black? I think that was Des Bryant.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think you're right. Okay. Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they're about the same time. Yeah, that makes sense. But good old
if you don't know what we're talking about, go Google Jeff Ireland and Des Bryant, and you'll probably find something. Yeah. But that's the word. That's the word association segment, which is brought to you by Proforma Print 2 Promo Group. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or a sales meeting, Proforma Print 2 Promo Group has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs, so you need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving Barbara Van Weinsberg a call at 574-210-3815, or you can email her directly at barbara.vanweinsberg@proforma.com. Interesting week one around the National Football League, J-Man. Let's list our 3 winners, 3 losers, but we're going to switch this segment up a little this season. In the past, we've had a lot of the same teams. We decided this year we cannot agree on the same teams, so we will flip every week who gets the first pick with the winner and loser. This week, I am letting you have the first pick of your winners.
My winner, the Miami Dolphins.
Figured that was coming.
Yeah, that offense is just explosive. They had 10 drives yesterday, punted once, turned it over at the Chargers 3-yard line on a fumbled snap, and Tua threw an interception in the end zone. So they were moving the ball at absolute will. Tua made some of the best throws of his career. I don't know if you saw the highlight of his throw where he stepped up in the pocket and kind of jumped through to Tyreek and hit him in stride on their final drive. That was without a doubt the best throw I've seen Tua make. And then he made an unbelievable throw to Tyreek to take the lead. There's still some question marks with the team. Their defense torched on the ground, gave up over 200 yards rushing to the Chargers. Herbert didn't really have to do a whole lot. He was checking down a lot. It does seem like the penalties, they kept kind of at a minimum. Xavier Howard had 2, but the offensive line played fantastic against Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, and without Teron Armstead too on the left tackle spot. So I think they're going to score a lot of points this year, and I think Fangio's got a long enough track record where he'll figure out the defense. So
he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I mean, he wasn't a great head coach in Denver, but his defenses were always pretty good, right. So he'll be fine. And Miami's on primetime this week at New England.
Yeah, they are at New England.
Mm-hmm. I've noticed amongst the kids, I should say nowadays, the youngsters out there, the Dolphins are a pretty popular team. I mean, they got, Tua and Waddle and Hill, so exciting. And I think their color scheme's got a lot to do with that too. I've seen a lot of my Facebook friends, I've seen their kids wearing Hill or Tua jerseys now.
Yeah,
so
trading for Tyreek, which that's the best trade in Miami Dolphins history, I think. I don't think they've made a trade that's worked out better, and I think Tyreek's so much better in Miami than he was in Kansas City. The color scheme does help. The white jerseys are pretty cool. They're pretty slick. But yeah, having the two fastest wide receivers in the NFL, Tyreek, I mean, Justin Jefferson's great, and he might be the best overall receiver. But I think if you ask cornerbacks who the most feared receiver is in the NFL, I think it's Tyreek. His speed is just absolutely ridiculous. And then you add Waddle, who didn't play a whole lot because he's still dealing with an injury, but pretty fun to watch for the first time. I mean, it's been for the past 20 years, it's been a whole pile of crap. Where the Dolphins can barely even get to 24 points, let alone 36, and feel like they left points on the field. So it's about time I'm having fun watching them.
I was fine with Tyreek going nuts yesterday because as you know, we're in the same fantasy league that we've been in since mid-2000s. I took him 3rd overall, so he got me 40 points yesterday. I was all good. I was all good with that. So
smart pick. I was hoping he'd fall to 11, and he didn't.
As long as Aaron Rodgers doesn't pull a Joe Burrow, I should win tonight. So should. My first winner, I'm going to pick the Detroit Lions. The national media wants to say, well, the Chiefs didn't have Travis Kelce. Well, their receivers dropped X amount of balls. That happens sometimes. That's football. And yes, they didn't have Travis Kelce, but at the same time, Travis Kelce is getting a little up there in age. I'm not saying he's going to decline yet, but he's getting about the same age. We saw Rob Gronkowski kind of take a dip. So it'll be interesting to see what he looks like when he comes back. And the Chiefs still almost won that game. The Chiefs will be fine. I was just aggravated as somebody who doesn't like the Chiefs that the media wasn't giving the Lions their flowers because they hung in there. They were gritty. They're tough. They're fighters. And this is not. Well, I was going to say our father's Detroit Lions. I could say our father's Detroit Lions because they've never been good in their lifetime too. Our grandfathers probably back in the day, but. This Detroit thing, I think they're going to be in good shape this year.
Yeah, the thing that ticked me off was right when the game was ending, Tirico goes, "You can put an asterisk next to this."
Yeah, 100%. Don't say that. I mean, come on. That was the Lions' best win since January 5th, 1992. And why I use that date, that's before both of us were born. That's their last playoff victory. I mean, I'm not trying to overblow a regular season win, but everybody was watching that game. It's the first game of the year, and you go into Arrowhead, one of the toughest places to play, and to defeat the defending champs. Yeah. Kudos to them.
The Lions have taken on the personality of their head coach, which is a
100%.
Yep. Jared Goff hasn't thrown – he has the longest interception-less streak in the NFL, playing arguably his best football of his career the past 8 or 9 games.
100%.
Even going back to his L.A. days. So, they're a fun team to watch. Yeah. I don't think either of us really believed in them. I had them in the playoffs, but I had them under 500.
I did too. I think I had them 9-8.
Might be the tides might be switching there. So
yeah, good for them. That family's been through a lot.
Yeah. The LA Rams are my other winner. Heard about the Seahawks a bunch. Geno scores or signs that huge deal. Didn't really hear much about the Rams. Maybe they'll be pretty good. Stafford's back, Sean McVay, all of that. And then you got Cooper Kupp getting injured and missing week 1. And they went into Seattle and they torched them. They really took it to them. So credit to the Rams. I think they could be better. I saw that. I don't know if you saw that clip. Aaron Donald got free and the field mic picked up Geno Smith as Aaron Donald's getting there. Go, oh my God.
Yeah. He said what all of us would have said it.
Yeah. Yeah. The Rams look really good. 17-point win there in Seattle.
Yeah, I gotta brag a little bit. I picked the Rams to go in there and win. That was my 4-point pick last week. So
no shot.
Something about the Seahawks team.
Yeah.
I think they're overrated. I thought Geno was going to come back down to earth, and if his play the rest of the season is anything like it was yesterday, it'll be there. But we were talking about last week. Remember, nobody used to go into whatever they call their field now. It used to be CenturyLink, but whatever they call their field up in Seattle.
It was CenturyLink.
Yeah, nobody used to go in there and get wins, but now teams are starting to find a way to do that. And kudos to the Rams. Another winner for me. I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I thought they looked really, really good yesterday. That was one I know a lot of bettors weren't going either way because they thought the Niners were the better team than the Steelers, and they were favored by 2 points. But Steelers usually play really good week 1. Remember last year they went to Cincinnati and kicked the Bengals around, and the Steelers are usually really good at home. Not yesterday. Brock Purdy played really, really good. Christian McCaffrey had a long touchdown run. That defense played well and gave Kenny Pickett, or yesterday, as a lot of people are calling him, Kenny Picked Off, a lot of problems. Niners looked, they're my Super Bowl champs, and they looked like it yesterday.
Yeah. My final winner is the Dallas Cowboys. That game was over in the first quarter.
I didn't even watch it because it got so out of hand early. So
40-0, and Dak Prescott had 143 yards passing. He wasn't very good. And honestly, 4 yards of carry for the rushing game. Daniel Jones was horrendous. The offensive line was horrendous. Jones got sacked 7 times, turned it over. He turned it over twice. Them as a team, they turned it over 3 times. Daniel Jones signed, which when he signed the deal, I'm like, that is a ridiculously stupid deal the Giants gave him, over $100 million. And he looked like the worst quarterback in the NFL yesterday.
Yeah, he better hope he has a good bounce back game this next week against the awful Arizona Cardinals. Well, all my teams are picked except one more that I had written down. I wrote 6, so I'm glad I did that. I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Did not see that coming yesterday, beating the Cincinnati Bengals the way they did. Bad weather there in Cleveland, but Joe Burrow, man, the Browns own him. He has not beat the Cleveland Browns yet in his career.
Yeah, 1-6. And it's not even like Deshaun played that well, just their defense played so well. With Jim Schwartz, hired Jim Schwartz to be that defensive coordinator. He's been a great defensive mind for a long time now. So
Yep. So good start for the Brownies. We'll see if they can build on their momentum of their week 1 win.
Yeah. But my first loser is, you mentioned the 49ers, but I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. All off season into preseason, you heard about the Steelers team. They're going to be really good. They're going to be good. They've been pretty much fitting Kenny Pickett in his gold jacket, and he was terrible yesterday. He was terrible. And I know the 49ers have the best defense in the sport, and they looked at yesterday, but Pickett made some terrible decisions, terrible throws. At one time, they were getting outgained 199 to -1 yard in the first half. And so pretty disappointing start for the Steelers.
Yeah. They were one of my 6 I wrote down, and a lot of these 6 I wrote down piggyback off the winners, really. So, but
right.
not this one that I'm mentioning here. Chicago Bears.
Yep.
You were talking about fitting in the gold jacket, and I'm sure you saw more than I did this offseason, but everybody wanted to hype up Justin Fields. Justin Fields. That offense looked like garbage yesterday. Straight up garbage. It wasn't the offense that Bears fans saw between week 7 through 17 last year.
I've never seen a fan base do everything in their power to defend a quarterback. I don't know if it's because they've never really had a good one there, but it wasn't Fields' fault. It was the coaching staff. The front office didn't put anyone around him. Well, all offseason you were talking about how great of an offseason they had, and your quarterback went out there and played terrible yesterday. And the Packers own them. They absolutely own the Chicago Bears.
9 straight. And I think and Jordan Love had good statistics. I mean, he didn't really throw down the field yesterday, so take that for what it's worth. But I still think it strikes fear in Bears fans' hearts and souls because they're like, uh-oh, is it here we go again for the third straight tenure of a quarterback?
Yeah. My second loser, Minnesota Vikings. At home against a Tampa Bay team that is middling. I think people think Tampa Bay will be okay, 7-10, 8-9, something like that. But I know you lost Alvin Cook. You did lose Adam Thielen as well. But that's a bad loss at home, especially week 1. Especially after they went. What was their record last year? 14-3 or something like that. 13-4. They were really good last year. And they won a bunch of close games like that. And the tide has already turned this year for them.
Yeah, and it doesn't get easier this week. They travel to Philadelphia to play the Eagles on Thursday night.
Yeah.
So could be looking at an 0-2 start there for Minnesota, which would not be good.
Yep.
My next loser, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I know I put the Browns as one of my winners, but the Bengals, a lot of people are picking them to make the Super Bowl, potentially win Super Bowl. I know you picked them to win the Super Bowl. They didn't have it yesterday. They just laid a complete egg.
They started 0-3 last year. Remember?
Yes, they did. But you can't always bank. I think they'll be fine. I do, but you can't always bank that you're going to recover from a slow start. And, man, their offensive line struggled. Cleveland did whatever they wanted, both sides of the ball against them yesterday. And I know weather played into that a lot, but Cincinnati's got to get it going against a tough Baltimore team this week.
Yeah. My final loser, rookie quarterbacks. Honestly, Anthony Richardson looked like the best one yesterday. CJ Stroud looked terrible against a great defense in Baltimore. Bryce Love looked bad. Is that his name? It's Young, isn't it? Bryce
Young, yep.
Why did I get that screwed up? A rookie quarterback has not won their NFL debut since Tua in 2020. And that continued yesterday as the quarterbacks really didn't look that good. So final loser, rookie quarterbacks.
And my final loser will be the New York Giants. I mean, playoff team last year. Still don't really know what to think of them. I mean, I think they're better than they showed last night, but getting blanked like that by a division rival on week 1 on national television. I mean, put up a 0 burger, 40-0. That you got to be on the loser list. You can't escape that. So, yep.
Yeah. Heading into Pick'em, you beat me week 1, which I have won the season series, we can call it. 3 straight years, or is it 2 straight years?
I think it's 3 straight.
I think it is 2. We were both pretty bad yesterday. I picked correctly 7 of the 15 games yesterday, and you were slightly better than me. But
we both missed some big ones though.
Yeah, we both missed Kansas City big. I think we both had Minnesota big.
Which I had Cincinnati big.
In Cincinnati, I had Cincinnati for 10. So
and I had Denver big.
I had Denver for 6.
I know better.
The one that won it for you was the Rams, though. That was the deciding factor because I took the Seahawks. So
I darn near changed it after the news of Cooper Kupp came out too. Yeah. But I was like, I'm gonna stick with my gut.
Thursday night we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles.
Eagles didn't look all that great yesterday. They did enough to win. They got off the good start and then almost choked that away. Yeah. But I like the Eagles at home here, and I'm going big on Thursday night. I'm putting the Eagles for 13.
I have the Eagles for 16.
Okay. You went bigger than me.
Yeah. I don't think the Eagles are losing their first home game. But yeah, again, the Eagles didn't look that great. I mean, they got up 16-0, and then Patriots dang there came down there and won that thing late, but obviously didn't. But yeah. Game number 2, the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, nice little win for the Falcons yesterday over the Panthers.
Not bad, not bad.
But I'm taking the Pack for 7.
I'm taking the Falcons for 1. Desmond Ridder didn't have to do a whole lot, but he played the game pretty well. That running duo they have there with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, explosive. So I think they can control the ground game and get a W. Close one. I think that might be the best game of the weekend. Book it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Vegas Raiders at the Buffalo Bills.
Raiders are a trash team. Don't care if they beat my team yesterday. They're winning the AFC West right now, which is take your screenshots, Raiders fan, because it's not going to last. I got the Bills for 16.
Jimmy G does nothing but win, though, man. There's something about him, regardless of the team he's on.
He caused my first hat throw of the year between Purdue and the Broncos yesterday. He got the 8-yard scamper to seal the game at the end. That was the longest run play by the Raiders all day yesterday.
Oh, boy.
My hat went flying off my head.
Of course, we haven't seen the Bills play yet, but at home, I'm taking the Bills for 15. Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. I have the Bengals bouncing back, but only for 2 points. I think this is going to be a good one.
I think the Bengals bounce back as well, and I got them for 8. I think this might be the game of the week, and there's some pretty good matchups this week, but give me the Bengals for 8. Seattle Seahawks at the Detroit Lions.
Lions for 15.
I have the Lions for 14, so I'm right there with you. LA Chargers at the Tennessee Titans. Tannehill was horrendous yesterday.
Yeah, he was awful. He's going to have to play better. Derrick Henry had some moments yesterday. I was going back and forth on this one. I saw the latest report that Austin Eckler has a bum ankle. Not sure if he's going to be able to play this week, so I'm going Titans for 4.
Yeah, he limped off. You're going Titans. I'm going Chargers for 11.
I'm going Titans for 4.
I think Titans are one of the worst teams in the AFC, especially when Tannehill's turned the ball over 3 times. I think the Chargers bounce back. They obviously won't be able to run as well probably against the Titans than they did against the Dolphins, but Herbert has a good game, in my opinion. Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You know, I even have Chicago in the playoffs, but yesterday just looked so bad, and I think they're just going to be so down. And Tampa got a unexpected win at Minnesota. I think Tampa rides a high at home, gets the dub for 6 points.
I got the Bucs as well for 7. Yeah, I don't believe in the Bears. Haven't really all offseason. And yesterday affirmed it for me. So, Kansas City Chiefs at the Jacksonville Jags.
I've been waiting for this one. Taking the Jags for 1.
This will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs for 13.
Keep doing it, J-Man. It worked so well with 3 touchdown book it last week for the Chiefs. Keep doing
Jacksonville. J-Man's Book It this week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching for life, home, auto, business, renters, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com.
Yeah, you booked a 3 touchdown victory for the Chiefs last week, so keep
I'm not doing
that,
but it's kind of like the New England thing. I just don't see him losing 2 in a row. You know,
I'm there with you, but you know, I thought I gotta take some chances if I'm gonna get 2 up on you. So,
well, this was a chance for me. I'm sure Jacksonville's like, crap. Why'd they have to lose? Game 1? But they have 10 days prepared too.
True.
Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. That's the worst matchup of the weekend.
Yeah, Colts showed some signs yesterday. Texans did not. I'm taking the Colts for 12.
Oh, I'm taking the Colts for 2. I think it'll be a little closer game than
I just don't think the Texans are good.
I
don't think the Colts are good either, but I think the Texans are really bad.
Colts at least showed something yesterday. They were in that game for majority. San Francisco 49ers at the LA Rams.
Great win for the Rams, like we've said. I just think the Niners are really, really good. Niners for 10.
I have the Niners for 10 as well. I think yesterday showed that so far, obviously 1 weekend, hard to make any sweeping declarations, but they look like the best team in the NFC yesterday. New York Giants at the Arizona Cardinals.
I mean, people are going to call me crazy for doing this because the Giants just scored 0 points, lost by 40, but I'm taking the Giants for 11. Josh Dobbs, he ain't the guy.
Yeah. And he's I don't think they're starting him there for him to be the guy. I think
they're not, but
number 1 overall pick. But give me the Giants for 6. That was ugly yesterday for him. New York Jets at the Dallas Cowboys.
Hard one to predict that we haven't seen the Aaron Rodgers-led Jets yet. So I'm taking the Cowboys, but for 3.
I have Cowboys for 4 for those exact same reasons you mentioned. Washington Commanders at the Denver Broncos.
Taking the Broncos, but only for 5. I saw some good positive things yesterday. I really did. I thought their offense looked a lot better, which people are going to be like, they only scored 16 points. Well, they only had 6 possessions. I mean, usually an NFL team averages 10 to 12, but sometimes 14 possessions a game. They only had 6. And when your kicker leaves 4 points out on the field by missing an extra point and a 55-yard field goal, which I understand that happens, that hurts. And there's a lot of stupid penalties on the defense. And I thought they were the better team, but they came out on the losing side for the 7th straight time against the Raiders. That's pretty sickening.
I'm also taking the Broncos for 5. Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots Sunday night.
Taking the Dolphins for 14.
Oh, man, I'm taking the Dolphins for 9. I'm pretty confident, but not that confident. I am glad they got the Tom Brady stuff out of the way this past weekend instead of having it I'm surprised they didn't do it on the Sunday night.
I hope the game goes into – I hope it ends up a tie because then that means maybe they're a little tired heading in next week, the following week.
Maybe. New Orleans Saints at the Carolina Panthers.
A doubleheader on Monday doing that thing again. Give me the Saints for 9.
Week 2.
They did last year too.
Derek Carr's the same quarterback as he's ever been, regardless of jersey he's in. Pretty mediocre, and I think
I like him.
I think he's terrible. I think he's so average. It hurts my brain watching him.
I like him,
and he proved it yesterday against the Titans too, winning that thing by 1, scoring 16 points. I am taking the Saints though for only 3 points. Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Cleveland had their fun this week. Pittsburgh bounces it back. They don't start 0-2. Pittsburgh for 8.
I have Pittsburgh for 12. Yeah, I think they bounce back in a big way because I don't think the Browns are that good. How many times have we seen? I think it was the Jags a few years ago. They won week 1 and then they lost out.
Yeah,
and ended up drafting Trevor Lawrence or something like that. But that is it for the games. Did I say who I was picking?
Mm-hmm.
Steelers for 12. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cuckoo. College football. I did not watch a whole lot over the weekend. I'm sure you did.
Well, I did, but I did, but I didn't because I had that trivia competition which started at 6, so that actually went right into the Purdue game when it restarted at 6:15 after starting at 12:15. It was the longest weather delay in NCAA football history, 5 hours and 38 minutes. But I did eventually end up watching that, and good win by the Boilermakers on the road at Virginia Tech, even though it went from a sold-out crowd to a not sold-out crowd because a lot of them didn't stay around. The Purdue fans did. They made the trip, but one Purdue had to have, and they found a way to do it, made enough plays at the end. Up 17-0. Virginia Tech comes back to tie at a half, and then Purdue pulled it out at the end, and it didn't allow any points defensively in the second half, and set a new school record with only allowing 11 rush yards in a game. So stop the run. I mean, their secondary is still going to have some problems. There were a lot of wide open guys running around, but they did get pressure on the quarterback, sacked him 3 or 4 times, forced him into 2 interceptions. Then Virginia Tech questionably put their backup in on the final drive of the game.
I saw that. Why?
I don't know. Unless he was a little banged up, I don't know. I just thought it was a very head-scratching move. But
that was really weird.
Hudson Card was clean with the football, produced one of 2 teams in the Big Ten and one of 9 nationally, and I'm going to knock on wood right now to not have turned it over yet through 2 games. So anytime you're clean with the football, you're going to give yourself a chance. I thought the offense looked a lot more creative, used the tight ends a ton Saturday. So very, very happy with the win. Now they have Syracuse coming in for a primetime Saturday night NBC game this weekend.
From last year.
Yes, but elsewhere, the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame looked really good at NC State. I was trying to watch that game, but that game was also weather delayed like every game on the East Coast was.
The East Coast got hammered.
So, unfortunately, what I had to watch was a lot of the Colorado-Nebraska game, which I am so sick of Colorado.
Yeah, they look pretty good too.
Oh, they did. Nebraska looked bad. Nebraska shot
Nebraska's
themselves in the foot.
abhorrently bad. Offensively bad.
Somebody's got to stop this Colorado madness. It's not going to be Colorado State. They're 0-1, lost 50-24 week 1 to Washington State. It's not going to be them, even though game day is going out there for the game for some stupid reason.
So's the big noon kickoff on Fox. They flexed Penn State and Illinois out of it to go to Colorado State.
It's just annoying. Yeah. But they got Oregon and USC. I don't know which order coming up after the Colorado State game, so maybe they'll wake them up a little bit. But, oh, Lord help us if they win those games.
Oh, it's already brutal. Wait, yeah. I'm just hoping, well, it'd be just as bad if the NFL comes calling too, I guess.
I almost have muted Colorado on Twitter, but I follow Colorado Avalanche, some other ones, so I don't want to do that. But, man, I was listening to some post-game. I did an ice cream run for my wife. She wants some ice cream. I said I'll get some after the game, and I wanted to get out of the house, and I was listening to some post-game of the Broncos, and a few colored and texters. At least we have the Buffs. I'm thinking, you guys did not care about Colorado football 3 weeks ago.
They didn't show up, and now their stadium's packed.
Yep.
That's
what grinds my gears, like you said in our group message. So, their players are fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. They're putting on a show, but it's just the turnover thrown and all these celebrities and this and that. It's just a little much for my liking, but either like it or hate it, I guess. So.
You beat me in Pick'em on this one too, and once again, the only game we predicted wrong was the Purdue one, but you put less points on it than I did. So you beat me by, I think, 2 or so. But.
Also around the nation, before we get into our picks, how about Texas going into Tuscaloosa, giving Nick Saban his first home double-digit loss since he was LSU coach?
Yeah. This is not 10 years ago Alabama, or even 5 years ago Alabama. They're a little different. Tides are turning a little bit. Georgia's kind of taking over as the team because Clemson sure ain't it after watching them get whooped by Duke the other night, last Monday.
But number 1 and 2 in the nation, Georgia and Michigan haven't played anybody.
Yeah. So, Virginia at Maryland.
Oh, Virginia! I felt bad for them the other day, losing at home to James Madison by a point.
Yeah.
They are one of the worst Power 5 schools. Give me Maryland for 10.
Yeah, the Tony Elliott era is not going very well out there. Give me Maryland for 9.
And the Terps battle back, down 14 points to the Charlotte 49ers. So,
Penn State at Illinois.
I got the Nittany Lions for 6 here. I think Penn State's the best team in the conference.
I 1,000% agree. I think Penn State's the best team in the conference. Illinois' defense looked supposedly trash on Friday night.
It wasn't good, J-Man. I watched a little bit of it. It wasn't good.
So, losing 3 top 75 picks to that secondary obviously hurt. But
that hurt anybody.
Their defensive line was supposed to be a strength, and they haven't looked good either. Maybe Illinois comes out with a chip on their shoulder after losing the big noon kickoff and getting embarrassed on national television, but Penn State's way too good. They're best team in the conference, as you said. Penn State for 7. Georgia State at Wisconsin.
I guess Georgia Southern, but either way, it doesn't matter. Wisconsin's gonna be mad after losing the game out in Washington to Washington State that we both predicted. But they kind of got their butts whooped. But they'll be mad. Wisconsin for 12.
Yeah, give me Wisconsin for 10. Old friend Jeffy Brom heading out to Bloomington. Is that in Bloomington or is it in?
It's in Lucas Oil.
It's in Lucas Oil.
Lucas Oil. Okay. It's a 3-year series that IU's trying to get out of the 3rd year.
They want to play another Indiana State or something like that.
Probably because it goes to Louisville next year and it's supposed to go to Bloomington. They're trying to get out of their home game. I don't know where that's headed, but I got Louisville only for 3. Only for 3.
I have Louisville for 3 as well. I don't think they're very good, but I think they're slightly better than Indiana. The only way Indiana can make bowls is if they add another FCS school. I don't even think they can, though, can they?
No.
But, Minnesota at North Carolina. I will go on record. I think the Big Ten West has looked like garbage.
It's open. It's wide open again.
It's so wide open. I don't think there's a single good team in it. I got a bunch of 7-5. 8-4. It will win it again this year. But Minnesota is one of those teams that they are 2-0, but they have not looked very good doing it. Now they travel to Chapel Hill.
They got a chance to get a ranked win over Drake May, but it's not going to happen. But I only got 2 for the Tar Heels.
I have Carolina for 5. Yeah. Northwestern at Duke. Northwestern took it to UTEP. How about that? The only win they're going to get this year.
Good for them. I like this Duke team. That's why I picked them third in the ACC. They've already beat Clemson. Duke for 8.
I have Duke for 11. Western Michigan at Iowa. Once again, Brian Ferentz' team could not hit the 25-point mark.
It'll be interesting if they keep winning, if they really stick to that or not. Iowa for 7.
Give me Iowa for 6. Virginia Tech at Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers, a 6.5-point favorite in this one. They're off to 2-0 start. But I'm taking the Hokies, but for 1. I think it's a toss-up.
It's a coin flip. I have Rutgers for 1. Give the Big Ten benefit of the doubt there. But Virginia Tech's they've fallen off the past 10 years. They used to be a perennially top 10 team, and now they fight for 6 and 6. Something's got to change there.
Shane Beamer will be their next head coach. He'll leave South Carolina for that job.
You gonna book it?
Yeah, I'll book it.
Book it.
Yep, book it.
Western Kentucky at Ohio State.
Ohio State for 9.
I have Ohio State for 12. They weren't overly impressive against Youngstown offensively. Washington at Michigan State. I wish I would have picked this game after knowing what is going on at Michigan State with the whole Mel Tucker situation. He is suspended until the Title IX investigation. Then he'll be fired. There's no way he's going to be back.
Yeah, assuming that gal's not lying about stuff. There's no way he's going to be back. That happens way too often at that university in the athletic department. Something's got to change. I don't know what it is, but I did pick this game this morning with the news. I think Michigan State's going to come out fired up, but I don't think it's going to matter. But that's why I only put 5 on this game for Washington.
I have Washington for 8, so that makes it feel a little better. I thought you were going to have 13.
No.
NIU, Northern Illinois at Nebraska.
I think they either beat or lost to Eastern Illinois 13-11. Northern Illinois is. I think they lost to them. Taking Nebraska for 11.
They did just win in Boston College, though.
That was Holy Cross.
No, last week.
Holy Cross. Holy Cross went into Boston College and beat them this past week.
Yeah, Northern Illinois went into Boston College week 1 and beat them.
Boston College is horrendous.
Nebraska's quarterback situation is terrible. Jeff Sims, who was a bad quarterback at Georgia,
it's a walking turnover.
Starter. Brock Purdy's brother came in to back him up. Maybe he starts this week. Give me Nebraska for 4. Bowling Green at Michigan.
Michigan for 13.
I agree. Michigan for 13.
The 40-point favorites.
Purdue. Holy cow.
Syracuse is actually a 2.5-point favorite right now in this game.
Really? That surprises me.
I think it'll be closer than that come game time on Saturday. Under the Lights produced first home game on NBC. Of course, they've played on NBC before at Notre Dame and in the Rose Bowl back in the 60s. I got the Boilermakers for 4. I think they get some revenge on one of the more frustrating losses that a Purdue fan could endure last year at Syracuse.
I have Purdue for 2. I think the home team gets her done.
Dino Babers, though, likes coach at Ross 8. He was assistant under Jim Coletto back in the day, and he led his Bowling Green Falcons into Ross 8 and beat Darrell Hazel in 2015. So
that's bad.
Yeah.
Real quick, top 25. It's a real bad week
for top slate.
25 this week, and unfortunately, my computer's decided to just go dead on me here. I'm gonna find one game. Tennessee at Florida.
Tennessee.
Yeah, give me Tennessee as well. All right, Birdie Bogey time. You decided to go for 2.
I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't.
First one, I'll give you the NFL question first. Tua threw for 466, which is the third most ever in week 1. Who are the other 3 quarterbacks to throw for more?
Scary thing is I'm more confident in the baseball one. I'm blanking, man. I am absolutely blanking, especially in the 1960s one.
Well, if you get 2 of them, you get a par on that one anyway.
I'm not confident in any of these. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on who my guess was for 2010s. I don't know if he did it. Patrick Mahomes.
No,
I'm not. I wasn't confident in it.
2 more guesses to get a par.
This is. I'm gonna be 4 strokes down after this week. What an idiot. 1990s was it Marino?
Marino was one of them.
Oh, God. Now it's down to the 60s, or I guess another one, 2010s. Oh, why can I not think? Why can I not think? Help me out, Elway. Help me out.
It was not John Elway.
No, I know it wasn't. It was the 2010s. Manning threw for 7 touchdowns, but I don't think that game was. I don't think he threw for that many yards. Gosh. This is wrong. I'm just get a bogey. Matt Stafford.
Nope. Tom Brady. Oops, sorry.
Oh, I wouldn't. Wasn't even on my radar. Who was the 60s? Who was the guy in the 60s?
Norm Van Brocklin. He has the most. He threw for 560.
Yeah, that was probably that 7 touchdown game.
Yeah, it was Marino, Brady, and then Van Brocklin. All right, man, you could get a double bogey here if you don't get.
Oh, it's gonna be.
If you get a par, you get a bogey. I think that was what I said.
Yeah.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is the 5th player in MLB history to record multiple seasons of 35 homers and 35 steals. Who are the 4 players he joined?
Barry Bonds.
Yep.
Mike Trout.
Nope.
King Griffey Jr.
Nope.
Just give it to me. I don't even want to guess. I don't even want to guess anymore. I don't even want to guess anymore.
Barry and Bobby Bonds.
Oh.
Willie Mays, and the guy with the most ever is Alfonso Soriano.
4 strokes down.
Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man show. Tanner took a chance and it went poorly for him, much to my delightments. But have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll be back at it with some more football and baseball talk next Monday.